Nigerians who are victims of impunity in government by corrupt political class are fed up. Welcome back on this channel. This is BVI Channel 1. We are here live and direct, where we talk about issues that affect us politically. On this section, we hope that when you join, you'll be able to make your submission, because this is an interactive section. I'll be joined by a brother and a colleague, Ndubisi and Enugu. But before I bring him on, let's take a review of what we're talking about today. We are talking about agitation for freedom and the 2023 general election. The build-up of this very program is around the various agitation happening within Nigeria by different ethnic nationalities and indigenous people. From the east, you have the Biafran people. From the west, you have the Oduduwa. And from the north, you also have the Arewas, all agitating for one thing or the other. We also have different other groups, under different umbrellas, agitating for either restructuring or the overhaul of the constitution. But majority of all of these people have one thing in common: their rejection of the 2023 general election. Most agitators from the west to east to the north are of the opinion that the election should be put to a stop, to be put on a hold, and let's talk about the problem of Nigeria first before anything. So it became important, as part of our commitment, to inform, to educate, and give the people a voice. That's why we brought it on this program to deliberate on this matter. How it affects you going forward. So let us take our review on the South Sudan agitation that subsequently led to their independence. What exactly and how exactly was it possible for them to gain their independence? So let us quickly take a look at that very video. When we come right back, we will open up the lines and bring in the guests who will be joining us. Don't forget, you can be part of this program by clicking on the link we are dropping on the chat column. Right there on the chat column, you will see a link that is being dropped there. Use that link to join us on the Skype meeting, or you just call the numbers you're seeing right here, +234 810 4545 533. So let us quickly take this very reference point, so we will all come back and take this deliberation head on. I'll be right back. Don't go away.
As we speak, pro-Russian separatists are trying to secede from Ukraine. The Kurdish regional government is trying to secede from Iraq. And Scotland has a vote scheduled in September that may result in their seceding from the UK. Secession is in the air, and it brings up an important question. If the people of a particular region want to secede, why can't they? There are a lot of ways you could argue this question, but the simplest answer is this: dissatisfaction in a nation's leaders, its economy, or its government is not enough to secede. You need much more than that. To illustrate this point, let's look at South Sudan and how they successfully seceded from Sudan in 2011. Sudan has a history of conflict between the Muslim majority in the north and the non-Muslim minority in the sub-Saharan south. It was the South that won the right to secede in 2011. They did this by having an established cultural group and region, a history of being institutionally marginalized, an independent representative system of government, and the economic means to establish and protect their new state without bankrupting the other state through secession. Those last points were earned in the Second Sudanese Civil War, which ended in a peace agreement that formally established a representative body for South Sudan. It also created a plan for oil revenue splitting between North and South, and a plan for federal job sharing countrywide. They also needed to prove that there was no better alternative to secession, a point well made by 50-plus years of conflicts and all-out war in the region. Even then, meeting just those requirements isn't enough. You still need wide support among your cultural group and region. You need comparable support from the nation you're leaving, and you need support from the international community. Luckily for South Sudan, all of that did fall into place, and on July 9, 2011, they won their right to secede after a secession referendum was voted on earlier that month. Almost 99% of registered voters in South Sudan voted for secession, and almost 58% of registered voters in the North voted for it as well. Later that month, the UN officially recognized South Sudan as its own nation. That, in a nutshell, is what you need to secede: a clear culture and region, a history of being marginalized, an organized government, a stable economy, no alternate options for peace, and full support from your group as well as support from the group you're leaving. You also need an endorsement from the international community as a whole. As we speak, pro-Russian separatists are trying to secede from Ukraine. The Kurdish regional government is trying to secede from Iraq, and Scotland has a vote scheduled in September that may result in their seceding from the UK. Secession is in the air, and it brings up an important question. If the people of a particular region want to secede, why can't they? There are a lot of ways you could argue this question, but the simplest answer is this: dissatisfaction in a nation's leaders, its economy, or its government is not enough to secede. You need much more than that. To illustrate this point, let's look at South Sudan and how they successfully seceded from Sudan in 2011. Sudan has a history of conflict between the Muslim majority in the north and the non-Muslim minority in the sub-Saharan south. It was the South that won the right to secede in 2011. They did this by having an established cultural group and region, a history of being institutionally marginalized, an independent representative system of government, and the economic means to establish and protect their new state without bankrupting the other state through secession. Those last points were earned in the Second Sudanese Civil War, which ended in a peace agreement that formally established a representative body for South Sudan. It also created a plan for oil revenue splitting between North and South, and a plan for federal job sharing countrywide. They also needed to prove that there was no better alternative to secession, a point well made by 50-plus years of conflicts and all-out war in the region. Even then, meeting just those requirements isn't enough. You still need wide support among your cultural group and region. You need comparable support from the nation you're leaving, and you need support from the international community. Luckily for South Sudan, all of that did fall into place, and on July 9, 2011, they won their right to secede after a secession referendum was voted on earlier that month. Almost 99% of registered voters in South Sudan voted for secession, and almost 58% of registered voters in the North voted for it as well. Later that month, the UN officially recognized South Sudan as its own nation. That, in a nutshell, is what you need to secede: a clear culture and region, a history of being marginalized, an organized government, a stable economy, no alternate options for peace, and full support from your group as well as support from the group you're leaving. You also need an endorsement from the international community as a whole.
Yeah, you're welcome back again. You've just watched that video and we are still on Political Review. I am Asuche Peters, your host. Don't forget that this is a live interactive section. And in case you've not subscribed to this, our new channel, please click on the subscription button and join us in this conversation through the numbers you're seeing on the screen, +2348104555533. And also you can join us through the studios via the link we've already made available on the chat column, or you just text, I want to join the Skype meeting from the studio via the number you are seeing on the screen as well, and we will be able to bring you into the live conversation right here from the studios. Or you just simply dial +2348104545533. Let us quickly go straight to what we are talking about. We are talking about the 2023 election and the agitation for freedom. And it became very necessary that we talk about this because Nigeria is preparing for an election. There is an ongoing agitation from different quarters. So we will appreciate if you bring in your submission and tell us what you feel. Okay? So with that, let us get on to business. Let me quickly bring in Ndubisi Anenugu, who is already joined this program from the Skype. And we are having our voice. Andy, can you just mute your Skype? It seems you are bringing our voice back. Can you mute your Okay, good. Because when you put it on, we start having our voice, I start hearing myself twice. We'll find a way around it and why it is happening. Okay? So, Andy, go ahead. Tell us your opinion and but first let me bring you on the screen first so that our viewers can actually see you right here with us. Andy, you're welcome to the program. You'll be addressing the topic we are discussing tonight, the Biafra agitation and the 2023 election. What does it hold for both the Biafra agitators, the Oduduwa agitators, and even Ninas, any agitation happening in Nigeria is saying that they are not going to be part of the election. What is your opinion about that? Unmute yourself.
Yeah, thank you, Chinedu, and thank you for the effort you've been making to give people like us voice, the ordinary people, the village people, to give us voice. Because we can't go to Channel TV, we can't go to Arise TV to speak out or to voice our opinion. Having said that, I want to appreciate the fact that Nigeria is in state of confusion, and the Nigerians are quite confused at this point in time. Both politicians, agitators, bishops, the ordinary people, everybody is confused. What is the way forward? People who are talking about having their own country, I mean, from eastern part of Nigeria, the Biafran people who believe that Nigeria cannot work, Nigeria cannot be redeemed. I've met so many people who have told me that this is our last chance to have our own country. They believe that this country you call Nigeria has gotten to the point of breaking point. When you get to breaking point, you don't go further. Or when you get to the point of diminishing return, you don't go up again. The only thing you do is to get balance and start coming down. Then to the people in the western part of the country, west, I mean the Yoruba people, there are some of them, some sizable number, who believe that the Nigerian constitution is fraudulent and cannot work. As long as you have the present constitution, nothing works. So it's better for them to start building their own nation, the Oduduwa or the Yoruba nation, as the case may be. Then the people from the northern part of Nigeria, you already have Boko Haram. Boko Haram are also agitators. They are agitating for something. Somebody to call them to know what they are fighting for. Because me from the eastern part of Nigeria, I know what they are fighting for is to have their own Islamic country. I've seen them over time mounting their flags here and there, taking, conquering territory, taking over villages, and establishing their own Islamic laws. So you can see the whole country is southwest. Everybody is looking at something. Again, you look at Nigerian political struggle. Politicians and those who believe in due process, those who believe in political process, those who believe in new Nigeria, that is still possible for Nigeria to be okay. Those are the ones who are uh, uh, taking position behind Peter Obi. They call themselves obedient. And you have the old order, the old political class being represented by the APC and PDP. So it's an interesting game. It's an interesting political season, I must say. So, Chinedu, if your question is, what are we expecting?
Yeah.
What I, as a person, is expecting is for a brand new political class to take over 2023.
That is
And
your
I see,
okay. That's your own permutation.
yes, that is my own, that is my own political forecasting or observation. What I'm looking at, that come next year, because of the situation of things right now, and because people are depressed, people are stranded, people are confused, they are looking for a savior, a messiah, and they have seen it in Peter Obi. I must tell you, Chinedu, that is what will change the whole game next year, and I don't see anything changing it for now. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very
Okay,
much.
thank you very much.
You can put your phone back on the
Phone,
mute.
back
When
on
I'm
the mute.
speaking, put it on the mute so that I don't get myself back again. Thank you very much. Ndubuisi, you have made an assertion which is quite interesting, but yeah, let us take a look at it from different perspective. Okay, let's have this conversation. People are saying that they don't want to be part of Nigeria. It is quite acceptable. And you said your stand. My stand, I'm very, very raw about it. And I don't care what anyone thinks of it. I am a Biafran, die-hard Biafran, from the core. And I am confident and committed to the freedom of the Biafran people. There is no two ways about it. Okay? It is my right to agitate for freedom. As well, I appreciate all Biafrans who are agitating for freedom. All Oduduwas who are agitating for freedom. Because of one obvious reason which Ndubuisi here have pointed out. That Nigeria is not working. With the crop of political class we have in Nigeria, there is no hope it will ever work. Up until now, that you now have a movement in the name of obedient movement, where they now cast all their hope on Peter Obi. I am obedient, and that doesn't diminish my agitation for freedom. But it has to be defined. How do you want to get that freedom you seek, or that independence you seek? I believe that independence agitation is a political process. That is the truth. That's what I believe. So we are giving our people the very, the kind of truth that they may not be able to hear from any other. Any other person will wake up and say, oh, I want to tell you what you want to hear, so that you will now give me all your support. knowing fully well that what I'm saying is not realizable. It's not realistic. For instance, I got engaged with someone who was talking about this same topic, about why are you in support of the 2023 election. I thought you are a Biafran. Some people will call and say you have deviated from the Biafran struggle. You are now talking about one Nigeria. These are part of the things that needed to be addressed properly, because Asun Chinedu Peters happens to be, if not the only Biafran in Biafran land agitating for the Biafra freedom, and yet my neck is still on my shoulders. It's not like the enemies like me or like what we are doing, no, but they don't have any other option, because they even the Bible that you read say, when you break the hedge, the serpent will bite. If you break the hedge, the serpent will bite. So now, when we talk about the Biafra agitators or the Oduduwa agitators and the 2023 election, some people don't really get it, how it affects them, and how, it's let me just say what the future holds for them. Okay, now, when you take a look at the political situation of Nigeria today, many people have given up. Many people have given up hope completely. Yes, Nigeria will never work. As it is today, with the structure of Nigeria, with the constitution of this country, with the marginalization and the so-called Fulani agenda, many people have given up completely. But one thing we fail to realize is how we will be able to get ourselves the freedom we so desire. How are we going to achieve that freedom we so much desire? That is what we're talking about here. The historical perspective on how we got to this point, we all know it. But the question is, how are we going to get our freedom? If you are pursuing for Biafra freedom, or Oduduwa freedom, or even Arewa freedom, how do you expect to get it? I believe and strongly stand that there is only one way, through the political process. And we have been propagating this for a very long time. Somebody called me up today and said, why are you supporting the election? And I asked, why are you not supporting it? He said, because if you're supporting it, then you are revalidating Nigeria as it is. You are talking about one Nigeria. It is no longer about Biafra, or it's no longer about the freedom of the oppressed, the Oduduwas, and as the case might be, any other agitating group. NINAS, an organization that said that they are bringing together different ethnic nationalities, once or had continued on the narrative that if you are, canvassing for the election, then you are still supporting or revalidating the fraudulent constitution. Now, the answer to all of this is, if truly we are Biafrans, where is Biafran land today? If truly you are Oduduwa, where is Oduduwa today? If truly you are Arewa, where is Arewa located today? All of these are seen and still within the confines of Nigeria. And whatever happens in Nigeria happens to them. They are the makeup of what you call Nigeria today. And when I put a call and the guy said, no, the reason why I don't want election is that since we have been voting, we have not seen anything. We have not gotten anything. Nothing has changed. Why continue voting? And I asked him, do you have PVC? He said no, that he has never had PVC. I said, wow. But you just said that you have been voting. He now started, trying to recount himself. He said, yes, even that is the case, we don't need to vote. When people lie to convince others within their narrative, especially when it got to do with Biafra, I don't buy into it. I don't use lie to sell Biafra to people. We stand on the truth. And I asked him again, that my brother that I was discussing with, are you a trader? He said yes. Have you sold anything this week? He said yes. In what currency? He said Nigeria, Naira. Then I now say, if people who are engaged in an election in Nigeria are propagating one Nigeria, that means those who are trading in Nigeria with Nigerian currency are also propagating one Nigeria. Why don't you use and accept what do you call it, the Biafran pound? Because he talked about we have our own currency. I said, why don't you use it as your own legal tender? If I come to your shop to buy something, I will give you Biafran pound and you give me the goods. He said no. The same man. So this is how we've been deceiving ourselves, and this is the information I am trying to correct. It is valid and you are right to agitate for anything, but it has a process. There is a process to everything. Just like we've highlighted with the Southern Sudan, how they got their independence. And one of the critical means is them being in control of the territory they call the Southern Sudan today. They were in control politically. They were in control. Those who are at the front burner of their agitation, they are the ones that are their governors, their senators, their top politicians are all talking about it and all believe in it and pursuing it. So they were able to take control of their territory. How many states in the southeast is being controlled by someone you will say truly he believes in Biafra and he is a die-hard Biafra? Up to today there is none. No one of them, and I can tell you there is nothing that stops them from identifying that they are Biafrans. Just like the northern governors are openly associating themselves with the Arewa movement and Arewa, consultative forum. There is no difference. It's just people deceiving themselves, trying to, benefit from the impunity of the political system in Nigeria and riding against the aspiration of their people. It is not about they are going to be impeached or they are breaking the law for associating with Biafra. There is nothing illegal about it. That is the truth. That is the position of the law. There is nothing illegal about being a senator and acknowledging your indigenous identity as a Biafran. The same thing is also applicable to those who are agitating for Oduduwa and Arewa. The same thing. Nothing differentiates anyone. We are all on the same page. It's just that our people refuse to understand the politics of agitation, the politics of freedom fighting. And that is the truth I am delivering on this platform. I know many people don't like this truth, but we are committed to it because that is the only thing that I have to deliver to you. If it is not the truth, forget it. Okay? So when people come up with this narrative that you are not Nigeria, you are propagating one Nigeria if you are talking about the election, how do you intend to get the Biafra you seek? We've been talking about Akuluono. We've been talking about rebuilding our homeland. We've been talking about bringing our people together to develop our homeland. Look at the West. They are doing exactly what I'm saying. Their governors are associating with the OPC and other agitating groups. You see them, give their support, make their commitment, stand with their people. You saw what they did with Sunday Igboho. They stood by him. They identified with him because they knew it is not against the constitution. They are not committing any crime. They were able to set up their regional security. Now I asked the brother that called me, the conversation, I recorded it. Maybe one of these days I'm going to relay it to the public. I told him I'm going to relay it to the public. If you are a diehard Biafran, like I am myself, and you bring out yourself, or I bring out myself to serve Ndi Anambra, or Ndi Imo, or Ndi Ebonyi, or Ndi Enugu, when we do that, it enables us to be in control of our homeland. And that is the thing that actually propels the freedom you seek. Let me quickly bring in my brother that just joined me through the WhatsApp. Honorable Onyebuchi, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you, moderator.
I'll be adding Ndubisi and Enugu to it so that we will all deliberate on this very topic under review, the agitation for freedom and the 2023 election. I believe you've been hearing what we've been talking about and the deliberation we are making.
Yes.
Okay. So, Andy, can you please turn off your this thing because your noise is encroaching. So, Honorable, from what we've said so far, can you give us your own perspective with respect to the issue of agitation for freedom and the political process, talking about 2023 election? Please, you have the floor.
Thank you, moderator, comrade Chinedu. And thank you, our listening audience out there. And thank you, our discussants. Actually, when you talk about agitation, we have to find the root, because when you find the remote cause of something, you know that the solution is close or nearer.
Yeah.
What brings up agitation from all regions or from some regions is because of marginalization. That is why we are talking about federal character. Why did they have federal character commission? Is to make sure that each region have its stake in the federation unit called Nigeria. But you can see even this present administration sectionalize everything concerning leadership and appointments. So this is why the agitation is very high in some quarters. During Obasanjo's regime, you never heard of that much tension concerning agitation. Good luck, Yaradua, they wasn't like this. This is the worst government that supported, that created the room for this agitation all over the places. When a whole president said that we gave him 5%, he cannot, work with us, Southeast in particular. When he called us a dot nation, when he said all sorts of things, when he now told us that we cannot do anything because 90% of our property are all over the country, mostly northern states. All these things it's a wake-up call. It's a clarion call to Igbo people mostly, because all these things we are saying goes to Igbos. That's why I always say I always go back to His Excellency Chukwuemeka, the former governor of Anambra State, Okwadike. There was a program he introduced during his tenure as governor, Think Home Philosophy. So I believe in that's his term, Think Home Philosophy. If my people could remember that all the time, they invest in other countries and left their country behind, left their state behind. Just imagine if we bring 20% of our investment in other states back to East. I don't think that unknown gunmen, Fulani herdsmen will have access into our forest, because these are where we're going to put our industries and whatever. It's because we left it untouched, untapped. We travel all the way north, Kano, Borno to start investing. That's why they can occupy. You hardly get them, you hardly get into the right forest where they are, because we left it. We are developing other people's state. So point I'm trying to make is this: we need to come back home. One, we have to vote. My brother, he that have the power has everything. You having money is nothing. It's only one policy the government or the authority will put you to truncate, bring your business down. So the power is what we need. And this is a sovereign country, it's a sovereign state, the Nigeria. So we cannot rule out voting. When you say don't vote, we need to vote. We have to be agitating.
Yeah.
The agitation is nothing but give us our fair share in this country. When they give us road, water, hospital, education, what we, light, what we need. We live our life. We are not interested in politics. Everybody knows that. It's because we are being marginalized. So we keep on agitating. Part of agitation is to make government know your plight, know that you existed. So it will make them to look back into your own region or whatever. So I believe, and I strongly believe, agitation is allowed under United Nations Charter on Human Rights and fairness and justice. So agitating is part of it. It's not a crime. When it's crime is when you get into violence. Like before, it wasn't like this. But due to the extradited, the rendition, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, that's how everything started. It was a peaceful region all over Nigeria. People are agitating because it gets to that extent, because they saw that even what the man Nnamdi Kanu was saying has come to pass. So everybody is seeing it. So agitation is good. We continue agitating, but not in a violent way. As I say sometimes, I say nobody makes noise, but there is some things going behind the scene. As I said, you see the United Nations, they have intervened. Anyhow, I saw 50 groups, northern groups, trying to tell you to keep off of Nnamdi Kanu, should not be involved. Because they don't know what they were saying. This is United Nations you're talking about. They just give the country 6 months to pay the man compensation and release him from detention. The same thing applicable to Kenya. Before they got to that extent, they really went through so many processes and that the guy's fundamental human rights had been abused. So they don't know, the Northerners don't know due to their gullible anyway. So some other things are going behind. The whole world is watching. People are watching. They were seeing. They do rallies and the rest. Everybody knows. Coupled with the killing of all Christians everywhere in the north and south. Here are Christians. So all I know is that the agitation must go on, but it shouldn't deter us from not voting. We have to vote because we're still in Nigeria and we have representatives. To tell that when the is when in the assembly resign and come back. For now, the agitation is just coming from the downtrodden, the unemployed, because you cannot see a real tangible person benefiting from the government of Nigeria talking about agitation. There are some people that are dying hard. people that can speak out. Somebody like Senator Elinaya Baribe, somebody like Senator Victor Ume. These are the people that were there. They talk about it. They don't give any. They don't care whose ox is God. So I believe we'll keep on talking about referendum or agitation. All these things have a process, but when you say we don't vote, at the end of the day, we'll be the one, seeing the whole thing happening to us, because he that is in power has everything. And definitely somebody have to be there. There's no vacuum. That's UI's law. No vacuum. Something must take over. So that's my take. Thank you.
I think you just highlighted on the very most important issues, talking about how to get independence. About the independence we're talking about starts from us rebuilding our homeland. Starts from us having the right people in power, creating an enabling environment, just like we highlighted from the experience of the South Sudanese. The South Sudanese, they were able to have control of their region. They were able to harness their economic potential and in control of it. All of those things played out. They were part of the government. And that is where we are getting it wrong. That is where people deceive others by telling them that by just sitting at home, Biafra will come. Oduduwa will have their freedom. Or by just shooting guns in the air, kidnapping people, that the Arewa people will have an Islamic state. No, it doesn't work like that. What works is taking the steps, practical steps, legitimate steps towards your freedom. It starts with your home. The best shot is what we see in the West. The West are doing it better than we do in the Southeast. Because if you go to Lagos, you see what they are doing there. And other parts of the West. You see their governors identifying with their agitating groups without shying away, just like the people in the Southeast are doing. That is just the steps we ought to take. You saw them set up their regional security and enforce it. And you see them at work, banning open grazing and enforcing it. What is happening in the Southeast? It came over to the turn of the Southeast, it became a carnage. It became a political tool.
Can I come in, please?
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. You talked about South Sudan, and you talked about regional security. I have to be factual with you. South Sudan, they have Sudan, they have South Sudan.
Yes.
The Sudan itself was dominated by Muslim. It's Muslim country, led by the deposed al-Bashir. Now, they have a river, a dam, which they were trying to drive that demarcates both South and Sudan. So that South Sudan itself is Christian state, dominated by Christians, led by what's the name? He was the one that fought for it. So now, after they have their independence through the referendum we are talking about, after they must have fought for years, they now start fighting themselves. First, you have to be unified. You need to have unity of purpose. It's just like Eritrea and Ethiopia.
Yeah.
Eritrea carved itself from Ethiopia. They fought, but it wasn't much. They went into referendum. At the end of the day, everything depends on United Nations. So in our side, imagine the regional security we cannot get, because the North knows that they have to divide us. That's divide and rule. When you put somebody like Hope Uzodinma that came fourth position, and you put him as the governor of Imo State, what do you expect? Can you hear me?
The world can hear you as well. I can hear you perfectly.
Yes, I can hear you.
Go.
Okay, my brother. All right. So when you put someone like governor of Imo State, only in Imo State, maybe somehow in Ebonyi State you can hear of Bubagu, but in Western region, in Southwest, they had their own Amotekun. They sponsored it and it's working. The state legislature passed the bill and it's working. They will tell you that they don't have gun. Are they going to stick? You know, my father always said, just always have a card under your sleeve. You need to have a joker. So they have their joker. At the end of the day, they tell you they don't have everything. Don't need to be open. You know, only thing is that they want to be destabilized Southeast, because they know that if we are together, remember, this is Igbo money we're talking about. These are tribes of Israel. Whatever they get into, they will do it more than the person that created it, that introduced it, that innovated it. That's the brain they have.
Yeah.
These people don't want to have a breathing space. So they knew if we are together. That's why they planted people like Hope Uzodinma. Now they promise to marry the president. He now turned to get the embargo. Why Anambra State didn't have the embargo? Obiano said that they were the ones sponsoring people that come to his state and destabilize his state. He never attended the meeting. Enugu State never had a embargo, and they have common boundary with Ebonyi State. And Enugu State is relatively peaceful. Abia State never had a embargo. So this embargo of 18 is a kind a uniform. They have to if they go. That's why I tell you, it's not you can only achieve both Biafra and whatever through unionism, through uniform, through togetherness. And togetherness needs to come from our leaders. You know, when the head is rotten, definitely the tail is going to be rotten too.
Exactly.
So these people, they were just looking upon the people that install them, because at the end of the day, you have committed one thing or the other. They will tell you when you want to agitate for something for your people, they will clean up your book, your slate, and show you. If you do this, we're gonna use EFCC and start, pursuing with this. Don't you see Rochas Okorocha? Have you ever heard about him anymore? Upon the Hausa he spoke during the APC presidential primary, he never got a single fucking vote. Don't you see Ojus Okalu, how he was gotten out of prison based on technicality upon the state he put out the state in? Because everybody, like something like that, are you expecting Ojus Okalu tomorrow to be against the Planis, the Northern Kabab? That absolutely no. Because they left him off the hook. So they always have something to help our people that would make them to destabilize and disorganize us. We cannot come together. But if we are people that understand the system, we need to think back and see that we need to put something good into ourselves. We need to come together. When we have a formidable force without having the leader going to the leadership, we can get rid of all this through ballot paper. Because that's the only option you can put somebody you want that you believe. This is not party affiliation. We talk about individual. When Anambra State is a testimony. Anambra State, when they got Mr. Governor Charles Soludo, they got him not because of APGA. Because APGA nearly collapsed. They put him because of who he is. If not, why wouldn't APC win the election? So we need to look into individuals. And mind you, as a matter of fact, I'm sorry to say this, we Igbos, we don't have good name, both in and outside the country. That's the truth of the matter. When they ask you, where are you from? You say Nigeria, where? You say Igbo. because other tribes are committing some crime, but our just look at Dubai. You can be seeing something on your screen when they were having court in Dubai, court in India, this and that. At the end of the day, you see it's Igbos. Not that we are the major, but at the end of the day, we contribute a lot to all these crimes, which is not good. We know what we pass through. So sometimes our people should look back and know that all these things we are doing is vanity. You must die one day. When I was in school, there was a court everywhere. At the end of the day, when you move out of school, it's down on you that you need to fend for yourself. If you keep on doing court, you are going nowhere. You see that court is not the panacea to progress. So when you are in school, you have your time, you do whatever. But once you're out of school, finally you have your family. My brother, you realize that the water is too different, hot and cold.
Exactly.
Because
Exactly.
nobody think about court of a thing. You know,
Yeah.
you face the real life. Thank you.
Yeah, you are very correct in your assertion. Honestly, we are still on political review and we are talking about the agitation for freedom and the 2023 election, pulling it all together. I don't know if Ndubisi is still there with us. Andy, are you still there with us?
Yes, I'm still here, Chinedu.
Okay, you've had the conversation so far. Um, Regarding the issue of the politics and the agitation, let me get your own clear point of view. Although you've said you are in support of the election, just like Honorable just stated, um, would the agitation be brought to an end? I mean, the agitation for self-determination by either the Biafran people, the Oduduwa people, or the Arewa people, can it be brought to an end if there is an election next year?
Chinedu, just like I said previously, that I've not seen any serious minded group in Nigeria agitating for self determination, that is separating themselves from Nigeria. What I can see is different groups agitating to be noticed, and to be noticed is to be part of the system. From Biafra side, of course, I've been part of them. I've been part of the process. I've taken time to study their modus operandi. That is the processes through which they are fighting to have self-determination, determine themselves outside Nigeria. I don't want to start mentioning names, but all I can say is that they've succeeded in creating awareness. They've succeeded in being noticed. Somebody noticing them that they are asking for their own country.
Yeah.
So, are you there?
Go on. Go on.
Yes, go on.
Uh, so on Oduduwa side, again, apart from the Professor Akintoye that is making uh, or packaging something intellectually packaged, I can say no other group is serious minded. Again, on Ninas being led by Tuni Naden, I know they've been consistent. They've been consistent trying to puncture the constitution, that the Nigerian constitution is fraudulent. Of course, every serious minded person, every genuine person in Nigeria will always agree with Ninas, will always agree on what they are doing. But however, their approach on how they will achieve it is something some of us have not agreed. Some of us are looking that that thing could be achieved through having the right political leadership. That's the right person as the president. In the northern part of the country, their own agitation is Boko Haram. by the use of force, take over lands, take over territory. We have seen how far they've gone since Buhari is almost completing his time in government. By next year, we'll be out. We've seen how many territories they have conquered. In 21st century, it's no longer conventional. It's not possible for you to win through war or through bullets. So that is why Boko Haram cannot go far. So on 2023 election, I know majority of Nigerians have agreed to go to that poll, and you can see the excitement, you can see the high hopes, you can see different groups coming together, you can see the division between the old political order and brand new political class. You can see separating PDP, APC as one brand and pulling Labour Party on the other side. So what I can say is that agitation for self-determination cannot be stopped by 2023 election. It is always work in progress. And agitation for good governance, for having right structure, for having constitutional configuration or reconstruction will always continue. It is not one-off transaction. It
Yeah.
is not something that will end with 2023 election. Let nobody be deceived that 2023, once we are done with 2023, once P2B wins election, it is Dadado we will start enjoying. It's a lie.
Yeah.
The agitation will always continue. But Chinedu, if you are talking about agitation, I want us to be clear of what we meant or what we are saying. Is it agitating for regional government or agitation for restructuring, reducing the power in federal government of Nigeria? That is the power in exclusive list, and depositing some of them to state level, or is it agitation for nationhood as Oduduwa is asking for, as IPOB is asking for? So we should all separate all these things as a matter of fact. But for me to conclude, I want to conclude by saying that
Okay.
let nobody expect agitation in whatever form to end by 2023. Thank you. That's my submission for now.
Okay, you said something about this agitation not ending by after 2023, which is quite very much understandable. Yes. Now, you are very specific about the kind of agitation. You're talking about the Oduduwa agitating for nationhood, or Biafran people agitating for nationhood, and you're also talking about the agitation in different perspectives, whether that's restructuring the Nigerian constitution. That's what they call constitutional review. Relinquishing power more to the states or to the regions, and the agitation for regional government, restructuring Nigeria, physical restructuring. Which one should the agitators go for? Whether or the ones that the Ninas are saying constitutional reform or overhaul, that is what we build the foundation for every other thing to be built upon it. Well, in my own perspective, I believe strongly that the only thing that can hand over power to the people and ensure equity, fairness, and justice is to restructure Nigeria physically. And by physically, I meant return power back to regional government. Nigeria have so far broken into 6 regions. But we know that ab initio you have 3 regions as it were before colonization and the current or the independence, during the time of independent First Republic, it was 3 regions. So when we talk about
4 regions.
no, during the independence, at the point of independence, you have 3 regions. Before we now get the Midwest. The Midwest was created after the independence.
That's correct.
Good. So now, Nigeria, we're talking about it as to return back to that original setup as it was laid down by the colonial masters during the independence, or just restructure the current constitution by power devolution and the rest of them. So these are the things people are bringing up, but I can tell you that the only guarantee for the freedom of the oppressed Nigerian people, the indigenous Nigerian people, is to return back to regions. Even as it is today. Give power to all the regions in Nigeria. Let them have control of their resources, their economy, control of their political life, control of their security, just a control over their homeland, and encourage competition. Then you will see Nigeria start coming up again. You will now see people, because naturally Nigerians and Africans are more ethnic inclined. They just want on their own, my own. So if you give them that enabling environment, and based on that, they can contribute to the center, the central government.
Hello, Chinedu, do you think Peter Obi has what it takes to restructure Nigeria the way you want it? Because I've heard him.
Okay, no, Peter Obi may not, but if he has balls in between his legs, just like Jonathan attempted to do it, it's just that he lacks the ball to implement even what is the resolution of the outcome of that confab. He was so I would not want to call it a coward attitude, but he lacks the political will to implement the outcome of that confab. That is just the starting point. Peter Obi, what he can do is to lay the foundation and create an environment where Nigerians can come together and discuss on the way forward. The kind of system that Nigeria have practiced virtually every form of government, from military government, that's dictatorship, to democratic, to parliamentary, presidential, just name it. But they have not tried confederation. Except at the time they tried to mix the two, between confederation and the parliamentary system. I'm going to put you two on the hold to take a call, then I'll come back to you. Just stay mute. Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
Evening.
Please,
Your
who am I
name,
talking
you are
to?
calling from United Kingdom. Are you making submission to our discussion tonight?
Huh?
Go ahead.
Who am I talking to, please?
Sorry?
Who am I talking to?
We can't hear you properly. Can you please speak up a little bit?
Please, who am I talking to?
You are speaking with BVI Channel 1 and we are live on the program.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, we just have to let you go. And back to our discussion. Gentlemen, I know you are still there. So what we are saying in essence is that if only P2B and Dati can call Nigerian people together, since they said, I want Nigeria to start being productive. You look at the template, what had happened or worked before. At the time, Emayo Para, you know when I was saying that on the video I published, I was calling Sam Mbakwe. I always mix these two names up. When Emayo Para was the governor of the Eastern region, Eastern region became the fastest growing economy, not in Nigeria, not in Africa, but the entire world. The West were pushing back to back, the same with the North. All of them engaging in healthy competition, building their economy. Until corruption crept in and destroyed Nigeria completely. And we are still on it up to today. Which now snowballed. You know that what led to the Biafra-Nigerian war is the corruption that happened in the political system that led to the coup, the counter-coup, the massacre of the Igbos and the Easterners in the north and other places in Nigeria. Then the Biafra was declared, then the war. That is the nucleus of Nigeria problem. But if Peter Obi has the political will, which many people believe he has, because he has been saying, I want to make Nigeria productive. How can you make Nigeria productive if the, regions that form Nigeria together today are not productive, they are not in competition, in healthy competition? How can, and like I say, even security experts have said, even to me, that there is nobody in Nigeria that can guarantee or bring back security and normalcy in Nigeria again with the way Nigeria is today. And without security, there will be no better life or the economy thriving. No, without security, nothing works. Everything will go down. A typical example is what we have been trying to do in the Southeast, trying to bring in our agricultural revolution, setting up agricultural estate. All have been put in a hold for nearly 2 months because of security situation. The same is applicable to other economic life in our homeland. So how can such regions, today every part of Nigeria is having its own bite on insecurity. Every of the Nigerian states, every part is having its own bite, share of insecurity. How do you expect such situation to change? The only guarantee, anyone that gets into Aso Rock next year, of which the only person that is committed, we are not even talking about APC because they made it clear to hell with regional government or restructuring of Nigeria. They are not talking about it. And I am not expecting PDP to do same. So Nigeria is having a kind of paradigm shift, an alternative from the old order. And that is why they anchor their hope on P2B And for him to say that he wants to transform Nigeria from consumption to production, the only way to do that is to return back power to the region and stop every month going to Abuja to share national cake. They have finished the cake and there is no bakery to bake another one. They have finished sharing the money and there is nothing else to share.
Chinedu, for us to have direction, right, can we look at the merits and the merits of the 2014 National Confab? That is Jonathan recommendation, which Buhari rejected. Because this is a big rock. We should have, we should have the basis of assessing P2B, Tinubu, Article. You know, we can always say returning power to regions, but in practical terms, how do we do this returning? Now, if we can, maybe by tomorrow, we go back and review that Jonathan Constitutional Conference and why Buhari rejected it. Because if we have knowledge of this thing, what happened, or why did certain part of the Nigeria for saying that approving this thing will not be in the interest of the northern part of Nigeria. I saw newspaper publication today where Pastor Chris Okotie was saying that returning power to regional government cannot lead to separation, division of Nigeria. So this discussion should be ongoing for us to sensitize the public. I can assure you, Chinedu, that majority of the people I meet on the street don't even know what they want. They don't even know what the guy contesting to go to Senate should do. Many of them say this empowerment. He empowers us. He is giving us scholarship. He's giving us this. He doesn't know what he's law making quality laws. When we say that the constitution is faulty, you know, most times, to the nerdy guys will tell me that I should read constitution. I should read the constitution, even if I have not read anything. I should read the first page. We, the people of Nigeria, have agreed. So what I'm saying in Ife Chinedu, instead of us just saying that it's 1963 regional government returning, no. This is 21st century. This is 2023, 2022, 2023. There are things that are not possible. Even if you're a military man, you divide. You say, like Gideon Oka during the coup, you say this part of Nigeria go, this part of Nigeria stay. You know, this is not military government. This is democratic system.
So you are saying that through the political process or democratic process, Nigeria cannot be restructured back to regional government, or Nigeria adapt?
No. What I'm saying.
Is that what you're saying?
You don't understand. What I'm saying is that we should look at the process. What exactly are you looking at regional government? What is the content of regional government? Is it okay? I will get a write-up from Professor Soludo.
No.
I think you made that presentation.
You can go on, Andy. You can go on to get a definition of what you think it is. But the truth of the matter remains that regional government is like giving regional autonomy.
Tell me how it will work in present day Nigeria. That is the question.
How it will work or how it will be achieved.
From your own perspective.
You are asking, are you asking how it will work or how it will be achieved?
How it will be work. Yeah, you can comment.
Okay, thank you. Ndubisi, what you're saying is actually fact. We need to have a direction. In the sense that you said it anyway. If I were to say, to be honest with you, P2B might not be much. He might not do much if he eventually gets into power. Because once he gets into power, for him to move on, there are certain things that will cage him.
National Assembly.
Remember, Goodluck Jonathan came in. He was thinking that pleasing the North, which everybody believed that they were the powerhouse. After pleasing them, doing everything, he never looked at his own local government, talk of his village. At the end of the day, he was disappointed. Now, the best thing for us, if I were to be eventually he gets into power, is to go back to the 2014 Constitutional Conference. That is the implementation of that conference was truncated by the North because they believed that they were in power, they were in control. But I have to tell you this, 22 governors of this country out of 36 governors are Christian governors. Go and check. At the end of the day, because when they said they were dominating us, my brother, when they call North, it's Borno, Katsina, Yobe, Adamawa. I'm not even not Adamawa. What do you call it? Not even Niger. These people, these are not forget about the Northeast in particular. They were mostly half Christian, half Muslim. They call North, as I know, even Kaduna is not called Muslim. It's not Muslim. So sometimes they think that they dominate us is because we never run a religion or a political of religion, and that's what he's trying to play out now. So if I'm Peter Obi, I will try to, because for you to implement whatever, you must have a two-third majority or two-third majority of the house. And when you come to two-third, they will start having their horse trading, which finally, Ghana must go. People will now sell their conscience. Everything goes according to their will and wish. Because if not, when we talk about regional government, regional this, the best thing to do is because that constitutional conference was where all regions brought out what they need and how they want it to, how the state is going to be governed. Remember, when every time they say people didn't do anything in Anambra State, they forgot that Anambra State, how old was Anambra State? It was carved out from Anambra State is old Anambra. The main thing is in Enugu State, which was the capital. They compare Anambra, yesterday's state, and Lagos. Forgetting that Lagos is the capital of the country, for nation called Nigeria. It was already developed by the military. Shagari, the first and second republic was done in Lagos as the capital. Is it now Babangida that came into Lagos, came into Abuja recently, a few years ago? They don't think about it. So Lagos have already been developed. They can't compare with Anambra. That's the part. So when you come about this region of 18, I think regional government is good, but who will bear the cards? I believe as the motor park people will say, sleeping dog is better than dead lion. If they implement the constitutional conference we had, is part of the region, part of the devolution of power. It's part of the dissolution of power. Because to restructure this country, don't you see the clip played against their former vice presidential candidate Shetima, when he was saying to restructure to my foot? I think some people must have seen it.
Yeah, I published it.
So people like that, do you think that Tinubu is not the one going to rule, just like Obasa, just like Buhari? Buhari is just like Eninaga, so just stay there. The elephant, be there. That your beat is okay for us. I know that you don't have stamina or strength, but be there. So that's what they want to do in this same government. When they bring in these people, Tinubu, what do you think that Tinubu can do? The person that is going to rule the country is Shetima. They know why they pinpoint Shetima. They look all where they need a mean person that can override Tinubu. That's a simple truth. So now you see that this government is not going to look into restructuring. Just restructure my foot. He said it, and it's the one saying what will happen because he will be more powerful than the president. That is the for sure. So if P2B eventually gets there by his special grace, I think the best thing for him, if he can, if he have the power, which I think he might not, because he may be afraid. You know, sometimes when you get there, they're nervous and you won't think they can overthrow your government. You know, a lot. Just like the man that was now Nigerian ambassador to Republic of Benin, the immediate past chief of defense staff. What's his name? What's the name? He was
Dampazo.
Thank you. Is it that? No, not Dampazo. The one that took over after the plane crash of the other guy. Not Dampazo. The other. I will remember the name. You know, the one that the Senate called, he refused to go. Severally. They removed him. You know, the Senate told Buhari to remove him. They have overstayed their welcome with Amosun. He worked with Amosun, the Air Vice Marshal or something. So he's now a Nigerian ambassador to Benin Republic. This man was saying that he knew how many times they told him to overthrow Goodluck. That was his, the secret he was revealing recently. So imagine Goodluck, they were telling him to overthrow him. Just imagine what will happen to people who happen to be an evil man direct. So I know that things are not going to be the same. As you rightly said, this is 21st century. Even the constitution they were saying to amend or whatever, go back to region, it cannot even be the same because the trend, there is something on trend. Things are changing every day. So you have to join, you have to follow the trend. Because imagine you cannot go to the bush and get firewood. Everybody want to cook with kerosene and gas. Everybody has borehole inside their compound. There's no pit latrine. It's everything is WC, water system. So things have changed and they keep on changing. You can't even, you see the way people are dressing. You now have gay, you have lesbian, openly, you know. So this before it wasn't like, so you have to follow the trend. You have to, adjust as things are changing. So I believe that if they can go to that constitutional conference, which is recent and feasible, only the House, the 36 State House of Assembly to pass it. It finally gets to the National Assembly, they pass it, it becomes implemented. By then we have our regional police. Because these are where the regional police comes from. Because these people don't want this country to move on. If you want the country to move on, why don't you help the ironing of the people, what people, the majority of people want? You yourself, you are seeing it. If somebody sees that the country is not correct, things are not adding up in this country. People are seeing it, everybody knows it, but who will buy the cat? So if people can do, I wish and I believe if he can, because it's a very big hurdle. This country is rightly, as the man said, from top to bottom. It's really from top to bottom. He might say it, he may not know what he was trying to say from bottom to up, but he said from top to bottom, and it's being implemented from top to bottom. Everything that was good is now, look at the Naira. Imagine Naira and the franc CD, franc Ghana CD, franc France, they were more than Naira, my brother. 1 franc is it's unbelievable. A whole Nigerian Naira, it fluctuates every day, but still it cannot meet up with other African currencies. Under this administration, the ministers will be talking rubbish. Their candidates will be coming talking. What are you coming to campaign with? I mean, people are not sharing. They believe that they can manipulate the election. They have, and they have stomach infrastructure.
Yeah.
So this is where everything lies. They know that people are hungry. They know. They give you, little fadding. You give them the vote. You don't care. Imagine somebody coming to give you 10,000 naira. Why wouldn't you say to hell? You vote. You after all. The next thing you say after all. So people are because they created this monster, they created this famine in the country, making things hard so that they can keep on winning. Because why there is no dollar? They use the remaining dollar to do the primaries. After the remaining dollar, they now ransacking every bank, getting the whole dollar again for the incoming campaign. But when you are doing campaign, you have to send money to where you're going, thousands of dollars to prepare for your coming. You need to pay people that will be coming. They will be going. You get those tips, those little things. That's why the dollar is nowhere to be found because they have it. The naira is nothing. So when they change it, they have more. So they just created this monster to milk this country, to make us ungovernable. So you have no choice. But I know people are coming, youths are rising if they can, because there are so many hungry people on the land trying to get something, for their family to put food on the table. So we don't know, but this country belongs to you. If this country is going to be good, 2023 will be final. And if this country is going to be together, because if 2023 they put, let's assume, Muslim, which never done before on this situation, after the country is from up to the bottom, top to bottom, you now put a Muslim, while as we are talking now, the professor, pastor, who happens to be a redeem, could not even make a word. Every killing, whatever, he cannot even say something as a pastor, a Christian, vice president. Imagine when we now have a Muslim. When you have meeting, you can never. The Asorok Chapel, no one to go in there because it was built for either Muslim, vice, or Christian president. That's how everything is done, So we are in trouble, and if things are not right, my brother, I think the country is going to explode because people will not be watching. You have Muslim country and people, president and vice. Upon that, the economy is not good. The same cabal will keep on milking the country. No, I wonder what they will come and campaign towards, that this is what the APC government did that will make them today in power. A party, somebody like Adam Soshoma will say, if you join them, your sins are forgiven. You say all this with impunity. You tell me that it's the right thinking people. It's personal interest. Common into that what everybody wants. You go there, you see that all their children are over the US, United Kingdom, Canada, Australia. Everybody have their visa to jump out in case if anything happens. The next thing, if you are in Lagos, you take to Benin Republic, cross the border from Badagry, you are over there, you book your flight. They know their strategy. They know. That's why they're always in Lagos, very close. But that once they close the airports, they can sneak in from any border and go there, use their passport, and get where they are going. So the pharmacists are suffering. I wish they can rise like Egypt offspring. Egypt spring, these are uprising they have in other countries. But everybody is afraid, nobody want to die. And that's why we remain in abject poverty. Anyway, let me stop for here. Thank you.
Honestly, you have made a very valid point, and so that people who are joining us will not, get it twisted. We are trying to educate our people with respect to the agitations and the 2023 election, the importance of political process in whatever agitation they are talking about. That's just the basis of this conversation. And I have with me two gentlemen, Ndubisi and Enugu and Honorable Onyebuchi, who are joining me virtually through the lines. In case you've not subscribed to our channel, please subscribe. This is our new channel. We are still building it up so that we start flying again, as those who try to stop the voice of the people will be disappointed. Okay, we've talked a lot, and we are coming very shortly to the end of today's political review. Like Ndubisi pointed out, no discouragement. I believe he still believes in the Biafra. I don't know his own definition on his own belief for Biafra, but I've just made my own very clear, my belief for Biafra. And I am committed to the freedom of Biafra. And I in the process, political process, and what to be done. And when we're talking about how to actually achieve it, if there is any hope, it may be a long ride, it may be a short ride, but it must definitely follow that process. And that process is political. Having the right people in power is the basics. Is when you now start having proper representative. You can imagine Governor Autumn. Governor Autumn single-handedly, even when other surrounding states within his own region are not talking about regional security, he set up his own region, his own state security, his own state, I'll call it state police. He equipped them and he even promised to give them sophisticated weapons to defend themselves, because you can't imagine with somebody that is armed with to tooth with sophisticated weapons, and you are coming with cutlass and hunter's gun, then guns. There is no way you to stand. You are just committing suicide for no reason. So he made that very boldly, and no, up to today he has not been impeached. He have not been arrested. He have not, or I say that he's enjoying immunity, but he is there in government protecting the lives of the people, and the people from the east, the Biafra agitators, are hailing him as their role model, their hero. But we fail to have people like that in the southeast, in the Biafra territory. That is my own point of view. And you and I in the BC that we championed ban on open grazing. And if someone from the east, in the east, as the governor from a state in the east, stands up the way Autumn stands up, we will be able to sort out this issue. There will be no need for some of the operations of, elements, criminal elements parading themselves as, freedom fighters in any guise to fight crime. We will not have such thing, because there will be no room for their operation. Because the government has taken up the responsibility to protect the people, their homeland, their farms, their businesses, create an enabling environment that our people will start coming back home to invest, so that our youth will start having jobs and less dependent on the handouts or being manipulated and used by corrupt politicians as either political cultists and the rest of them. So these are the things we believe that they are part of the steps to be taken, the political steps to be taken to get to where you're going. You can imagine if when we were doing this with even, what do you call them, ADF, Alibo Development Foundation, led by Professor Zodem Mamwala, if they had listened to the petition or the drafted copies of ban on open grazing submitted so many years ago, we will not be talking about what we are seeing today in East today. Today you can hardly move from one state to the other because of your fear of your life, because of the fear on the ground. How can businesses thrive? So look at all of these things, you find out that everything boils down on who is in government, beginning with the southeast, then spreading across the entire Nigeria. It's affecting the southeast, it's affecting the south-south, it's affecting the southwest, it's affecting the northeast, north central, and northwest. Every part of Nigeria is feeling the heat. And when we say, once the powers of the president to ensure he will be able to, restructure Nigeria back to regional government, it's all about the same people we talked about, political representatives, people who believes in what the vision is, the solution to Nigeria problem. Because I am very sure, if you wake me up in the morning, day, night, I will tell you that I am 100% sure or 90% sure that regional government will go a long way to addressing Nigeria's problem we have today. Giving the regions the autonomy, they will be able to control their security. And you can agree with me that security challenges in Nigeria are relative. They are peculiar to different regions. What is causing insecurity in the south is not the same thing that is fueling insecurity in the north. And that is the truth. So, but with regional security,
are you proposing collapsing the present state structure?
no, the state structure can still
proposing...
remain within the regions. Like in the southeast, you have 5 states. The 5 states can be just one region, and they'll have their own regional government. I mean, they can set up their regional police, their regional laws. That when you come to this place, this is what you, just like the north. 12 states in the north came together and enshrined Sharia law, and they are operating till today.
Then is anybody stopping us from doing the same thing here now?
That is what I'm telling you.
The constitution is.
That's what I'm saying. It starts with beginning with taking control of your territory. The people that initiated and carried out that Sharia law are people who believe in Sharia. If you have politicians in the north that don't believe in Sharia, they will not be able to do that. So it starts from who are those who empower in your states or your region. That is the truth. That's the fundamental truth. It begins from the micro political engagement before you now go, and spread forward. And that is what the North are perfected in their doing. Politically, they are perfect in discharging political agendas than the other parts of Nigeria. That is why everybody is shouting they are trying to finalize Nigeria and the rest of them. You can imagine. In Nigeria, Fulani is about the least ethnic group in Nigeria. I mean, in their numbers. But today, because they are in control of political power, check the entire Nigerian setup, they are in control of it. The security, the economy, your border, immigration, your custom, just name it.
My
because
brother,
they are in control of political power. We are not even in control of our political power in our own region. Because in the region, just like Honorable mentioned, if I'm not mistaken, he talked about unison, having a voice. With respect to their charade of regional government they call Ibubago, you can see that the only 2 places where it was mentioned in the southeast are the APC states, Ebonyi State and Imo State. But in the west, both APC and PDP states came together as governors of the west to initiate and set up Amotekun, passed it into law, equip them, and they are enforcing the ban on open grazing and challenges. So you see the disparity. That is why I say we are far behind in power equation. We have the worst of us as our political leaders. Nami Tokamo, I don't know if you have a divergent opinion to that.
You're right.
So that's exactly my permutation. And it becomes very necessary that agitators understand these things, especially our people, the Biafrans. They must understand the power play. They must understand it. If you don't understand it, there is no way we can make headway. There is no way. It's impossible. Even this current revolution, we tried our best using our channel to, cushion and caution our people from ethnicizing the obedient movement. We know what we did, because if we hadn't, to be honest with you, the politicians who are already throwing tantrums on the obedient movement, trying to ethnicize it, failed, because they will say it is Igbo agenda. They will introduce ethnicity and divide, just like they did in NSAS. They tried to introduce ethnicity and then followed up by violence, and the whole thing came crumbling down. But thank God today, the obedient movement is even more stronger outside Igbo land. I am happy with it. But it's quite disappointing to see that those who want to stop the movement that will liberate not just the Biafra people, but the Oduduwa people, the Arewa people, and all ethnic nationalities trapped in Nigeria. That is the movement that can liberate them. That is the hope I see personally as a person. And the man Peter Obi, whenever he mentioned he wants to change Nigeria from consumption to production, I don't see any other possibility for him to achieve that without changing the structure of this country and giving the constituent regions enough power, enabling power that will make them take control and start becoming productive, and stop going to Abuja every month end to collect their statutory allocation. There is nothing statutory again to allocate. Everything is finished. I don't think there is any other magic he will do to it.
Let me say something.
Go on.
Like your position that you don't think there is any other way P2B can achieve this mantra from consumption to production, apart from restructuring the country and returning power back to the region. I want to disagree with you there. You know, myself, I'm a practical minded individual. I am not emotional. I don't believe in sentiments. You know, based on what we have in Nigeria today, election will be conducted by February. By May, whoever wins will be sworn in by May, I think May 27th or 29th. See, what we should expect from my own perspective, P2B body language will begin to change a lot of things. For instance, the exchange rate today is hovering around 605 something. I'm not sure because I'm not current there. Now, P2B body language can drive this thing down to 400 to 350 to 250. You know, is a lot of confidence, trust. You can call your dog Bingo, you can call your dog any name you want, you know, as long as P2B can discussion on that, the way it should be done. Now, you look at Nigeria major source of revenue is oil, crude oil, revenue from crude oil. It does not make sense to anybody. Even my small boy that is 7 years will say, are we not producing oil? Why is kerosene, the mom bought yesterday, sold at 800 naira? Why is even gas? Anambra State now is declared as a state with highest concentration of natural gas. Why is gas behind our house here? Even there are so many gas that have not been explored now. Now, that gas cylinder is sold 10,000 naira. Why should Nigeria refineries, not refinery, why should refineries that are not working, even though millions of youths are jobless? Whereas modular refineries, even illegal refineries, you know, are being shot down every day. P2B was asked that question. He said he will meet those boys to know how they were doing it. He will empower them so that they will go back to business. So anybody who ask this question, is it constitution that is stopping that? That we produce crude oil, we export it, and we import it. I'm using foreign exchange currency before I go to crude oil. Now, do you know how much Nigeria will save if Nigeria should stop paying subsidy? Subsidy that is not even existing. Is not existing. What will it cost Nigeria to produce toothpick? In my house here, I have bamboos everywhere. Nko to say I want to be bamboo. Nko to say now yo, I'll be begging who will come and take it. But the same bamboo, KJ toothpick, me import from China. My brother, I'm an economist. I want to say that what we have Nigeria today is like mathematics turned upside down. We don't have economy. What we have is miracle economy.
Now,
Miracle economy. That is what we are practicing.
you know,
Now hold on.
when you say
Now
this,
hold on.
okay,
Hold on. Let me conclude. Let me conclude. You know why I'm saying that? Because of you are a moderator, you're a voice, people listening to you, and when people listen to you, they believe whatever thing you say. And my own is to correct. My own is to say from my own perspective, from knowledge point of view, that it is not restructuring ozugbo ka ihe eji nweta everything. Restructure kwa return kwa power. Nwekwe the kind of people we have in power. Ha nọkwa na region. The same thing ga na-ebekwa. If you give them 10 trillion naira dollar, they will use it to start buying refineries in Ghana. So I think the point I'm making first, and also Tagoda before Azawuta, we need people who are rational, people who are sensible, people who are reasonable, people who think like human beings, not like animals. We need to even look at our education system to stop this issue of paper certificates.
You think we can't have such people when you have regional government? Or even now that we are still in the way Nigeria is now? Because that is what I'm saying. I'm saying that you should build from ground to up. You should first of all get it right with the kind of people that are in power. I said it. That you should first of all, the people who are agitating for whatever thing they are agitating for, should first of all get the kind of people that carries their aspiration at heart. The people who are determined to bring about good governance, because that is the most important thing. That is the bottom line of the whole thing.
I'm discussing issues here. I'm discussing if this guy goes in practical terms, not as
but
don't
this one
assume
is also
anything.
practical. It's all about the mentality and attitude of the people. If it is practical for people to say, Mr. Ndubisi, we have seen you as an upright man, that if you go and become a senator, you make law that will prevent people from taking their children abroad to school while the universities here are shut down. They will know that you have that mind, that when you are going to make law that will encourage farmers to become more productive. That is where it starts from. It starts from getting the right kind of people in power. And it is practical, but it is all about the attitude. The attitude of the people saying that, no, they are not interested in the election. And that is the basis of what we are discussing today. The agitation and the election.
Can I come in, please?
Go ahead, Honorable.
Okay, thank you, moderator. Thank you, Ndubisi. Ndubisi, what you're saying, I quite agree with you in certain areas. As a Tana, the actual thing we have at hand is to see if His Excellency Mr. P2B is selling through. If he scales through, then but I had a little experience which I'm still dwelling into, which is the paramount of all these things we are talking. Because whatever thing that is going to be implemented in the country must have go through the National Assembly. That is the third arm of the law. Now, I was discussing with someone. I told the person that look at somebody I'm supporting. The person told me that if I support I'm supporting an APGA candidate. He told me that if I support the APGA candidate, the Labour person, if the candidate goes through, that P2P will not have a backup to pass the law, whatever he wants to do in the National Assembly. That we need to put the center, the Labour Party candidate. I was asking him, supposing if the Labour candidate is not sellable, are you trying to force people to go to him or her into the office because he's in Labour? I think there are certain ways. People will say there are many ways to kill a rat. As far as it's Anambra State, you can see people get into power, there will be a lot of campaign, people will decamp. That's exactly what happened in Kenya. The presidential candidate Ruto, he is the people's choice, not Odinga. When he started his campaign and people saw in him what they really wanted, they had start campaigning. That's how he has almost majority at the Kenyan House of National Assembly. So now, what I'm trying to make is this. As a time was I said it before. Or when we get the position, if he eventually gets the position, definitely there will be a lot of decay because sometimes if you are a good person, you have no competition, no competitor. When I vie for office as a councillor, there are so many people that came in, but due to my kind of person, that's why I need. As far as you are somebody, people know who you are, especially the one selection you have is where you have it from your community. So that's where they will know where you come from. Either you are a bastard, you are born at home, no mother and no father. Your father was a criminal, you have a criminal background. They will tell you who you are from councillorship because it's a grassroots. Everybody knows how you grew up, how bad or good you are. So what I'm trying to say is, let us get this man first. You will see a lot of people when you see someone in the party, the person is already sold him herself because the Labour Party cannot bring it's a ammonia journey. So when you see the person at the helm of affairs, anybody in there, you need to see someone like him. So even if there is any competition, they will not see something in that person that will make him different from others. And that's why the Labour Party is the same. I believe whatever we are talking now, I think, and this is my personal opinion, we lay emphasis on bed at hand, which is more than 1 million in the bush, and we have no other bed than P2P. So we talk about his strategy, how is the meeting his candidacy in eastern part where he comes from, at least so these are what I'm suggesting in my mind because I never see the heat from the southeast. Only this one that happened at Owerri. Somebody donated his building. But things are happening in north, some part of the southwest. Nothing is happening in south. My southeast, I don't see you. I think that should be the focus because agitation is already there. There's no two ways about it. Agitation will always be. Every Igbo man is a black man. There's no two ways about it. Whether they remove history in school or whatever, once your father will tell you about each and every one of us have someone that died during the war. So you must tell story to your kids, your younger ones. So it go out. It can never go out. It's in our blood, Biafra. People that are agitating today are looking upon us because we are the pioneers of agitation. So anybody that starts today is just standing on what we have already built. That there is, so you can talk about secession because people are afraid. The Igbos brought it out due to the neglect and marginalization of their people. So, comrade, I think because for now I don't see the heat from the south east. Like now all the governors of the north and the southwest, majority of them are supporting Tinubu after we still have the voted for him. You come at the north, most of them are even now, I think the way I'm saying this, some part of can is being cracked. They are trying to penetrate. Because I had 2 days or yesterday what one bishop was saying about Solomon Lalong, the Plateau State governor, who happened to be the campaign manager of Tinubu. That the statement of comments he made about John Paul and the rest of them, that they have accepted his apology. Something like that. I don't know if you people have an idea of what I'm saying. So, in situations like that, you can see that. So, what we are supposed to focus on is how many people have their PVC. How do people get their PVC now that they want people to start collecting their PVC after the registration? But how are they modernizing, trying to mobilize people from the south east? How far are they sending? How is P2B amending ways with it? I know that you have a problem with Soludo. Although APGA have their presidential candidate, are they merging together, or the presidential candidate, or in the person of what's his name, is he there? So these are what I would be interested to know in our focus, or as time goes on. We have to focus and sell it because it's our candidate, whether they like it or not. Charity begins at home. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. And you have really made serious contribution to this very program, and to those who have watched so far, we thank you. The numbers are quite low, but we expect to grow as we continue in this our propagation. This is a new channel, and we expect to gradually pick up all of our subscribers who might be out there wondering what happened. Our old channel had been shut down by the enemies of those who don't want you to hear this truth you've heard so far this evening. We are committed to ensuring that we give the people a voice. That's why we created a live interactive section where you will be able to interact with us, say your mind, call, be part of what we are doing in this community, BBI Channel 1. This is an added resolve, commitment to serve public interest. And we will not disappoint you. Right about now, we are ending the program, and we appreciate the two gentlemen that had so far been with me on this conversation. And as always, we will continue having them back as we continue throwing light on important issues that affect people politically on this program, Political Review. On this program, we will continue to, educate, inform, and sensitize our people, and ensuring that we are properly informed. Because if you are not informed, you'll be deformed. So join me every evening on Political Review from 5 to any time, probably from 6 o'clock. That's when it's always visible, so that those who are going home would have settled back home and join us in watching this live program. So I expect you to always sit back 6 p.m. upwards to any time we're able to exhaust whatever we have on the table. So from Monday to Friday, we'll be getting this program, Political Review. And as well, matters arising can come up at any time if there are issues that need urgent attention or special attention outside politics. Thank you, my people, especially the Biafran people. Keep the hope alive. The Oduduwa people, don't give up. The Arewa people, continue standing up and get yourselves free from those who manipulate you. Okay? So this is the voice of the people, the voice of the indigenous people in Nigeria for the freedom of the oppressed in Nigeria. I'm Asu Chinedu Peters. Ndubisi, you can say goodbye to our viewers and listeners, and as well, Honorable.
Yeah, good night, everybody, and thank you for listening Tomorrow will be better.
Okay, thank you very much. Honorable?
Yeah, my people, I thank all of you for giving us audience. God bless you and have a great night's sleep. Thank you.
All right, on this, we call it a day for tonight. Stay connected to BVI Channel 1. Don't go away. Be part of the process that will make our lives better. Bye-bye, and don't forget to subscribe. Nigerians who are victims
Thank you,
of
comrade, and
impunity in
remember,
government
good
by
night.
corrupt political class
Good
are
night.
fed up.